In this video, I'm going to teach you how to design a Mother's Day t-shirt like this. I'm going to show you how to find free fonts on the internet, how to find the right phrase to use, and how to draw graphics on your own in Affinity Designer. You don't want to miss this. Let's go. Thanks for joining me on this video. My name is Juna with Detour Shirts, the channel all about helping you design and sell t-shirts online. If that's something you like to do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So this video is kind of a sequel to this video right here. It was a design video for non-designers. If you haven't seen that video, you can go ahead and watch that. You don't have to watch that video to watch this one, so you can watch it later. But there are some elements in that video that I'm going to use in this video today, kind of building on what I taught you in that video. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to do a Mother's Day design since Mother's Day is coming up. There's some basic principles that you can use, and these are going to be all free stuff. I'm going to show you how to find a free font on the internet. I'm going to show you how to design graphics in Affinity Designer, just simple graphics that you can do. And I'm going to show you how to find a phrase for Mother's Day if you're curious about what phrase should I use, how do I find that. I'm going to show you step by step on how to do all those things. And it's so you can get started on doing Mother's Day designs and use these same principles for Father's Day and other designs. So hopefully this video is really helpful for you. I think it will be. There's lots to do in this video. And of course, at the end, another edition of trend credits. So lots going on in this video. Let's get started. So here I am in Affinity Designer. I'm going to start off with fonts. So you're going to want to have at least 2 fonts. And for Mother's Day designs, typically what I like to use are handwritten fonts and script fonts. So you can see here, this is kind of a handwritten script font, intro script. And this one kind of looks like I hand wrote it too. It's called Sensei. And if you don't have these are free on the internet. Let me show you where I got them and you can download them yourself. So go to this website here, fontfabric.com, Fontfabric. You can see here they do fonts. They do lots of fonts. They do a lot of cool fonts and you can buy fonts from here. But if you scroll down, I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and you can read all of this. You can see right here it says free fonts. So click on free fonts. And when you do, you can look at all the free fonts that they have, absolutely free. All you have to do is put in your email and they'll send you emails and stuff like that. But it's absolutely free. You don't have to put in a credit card number or anything like that, just your email. And you can see just a ton of free fonts, right? So I scroll down here and I'm looking for this one, intro script. That's the one I got. And then I'll scroll down here. You can use any of these, but I'm looking for specifically script fonts or handwritten fonts, right? So let's go down. I mean, there's some really good ones for Father's Day, by the way. This one's great. Let's see. That's a nice one, but I already have a script font. That one's a little too thin. So would be a nice one, but I already have a script font. That Sensei would be a nice one too. Like a lot of cool script fonts. These are all free, by the way. I would just download them all, right? So let's see. This one, Sensei. That looks like a handwritten font, right? You can see a preview. That's what I really like about this site. That you can see a whole preview of most of the letters here. And that's it. So click on this. Let's say right here, I'll show you. And you can just see download for free. So there's the typeface. And you just put in your email and you'll get it. But take a look at this font. Really cool font. I think it'll do really well for our example. And if you're wondering, what does free mean? Can I use it on t-shirts? Well, here is their site. How our Fontfabric free license work. The standard license allows commercial usage like booklets, magazines, t-shirts. That's what we're doing is t-shirts. So absolutely free for that. Let's get back in there and I'll show you what else you do after you find these 2 fonts. If you don't know how to load these fonts, you can look that up on Google. It's going to be different for a PC and a Mac. But I'm on a Mac. I just used FontBook and I uploaded it and now it works in my Affinity Designer. So let's get back to Affinity Designer. So the next thing that I suggest you do is have some graphics. Now you don't need a lot of graphics. You can just do a couple of graphics just to catch the eye, just to give it some interest, right? So first thing I'm going to show you how to do is this arrow. It's super simple. All you use is your pen tool right here. And click, hold down shift to make it straight, click, and then make sure that the stroke is a color. So I'm going to go here. This is stroke. This is fill, right, on my color. So stroke, put black right here. And now you can make that whatever size you need the stroke to be. So you can see right there. this arrow actually is right here, the end. So by default, it's none, but you can come in here and use all these different arrow tips. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I'm just going to use this single one right here, and you can see that's how it looks like, and then just click out of it. So you can make this as long or short as you want. This is just a stroke here, so real easy. The next thing to make here is this heart. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that Affinity Designer has all these shapes right here. It's usually the triangle tool right under the rounded rectangle tool. But if you click that little part right here, you'll see all the different shapes. You can do stars, you can do rainbows, triangles, got all these things here, crescent moons, right? So the very last one on the bottom is heart. So all you do is hold down, draw your heart. If you didn't unclick that end, you'll see that it's going to try and make a arrow. Just turn that arrow off on this one. And then you can have it both fill and stroke. You can see right here, they're both. But if I take out the fill, then I have just a stroke around it. And that's how easy it is. So of course you can flip those back and forth by clicking this arrow. You can see fill, stroke, right? All right, so that's how easy it is. Just a couple of those graphics, arrow and a heart. So the next step after you get your fonts and your graphics and you're all ready to build something, you're gonna need a phrase. So I found this phrase. I went from mama to mommy to mom to bruh. So let me show you how I found that phrase on Amazon. So here I am on Amazon. I'm just gonna start typing in funny mom shirt or funny Mother's Day. Let's see. Funny Mother's Day shirts. Shirt. Funny Mother's Day shirt. Let's do that. All right. Then I'm just going to scroll down and see if I can find something. There we go. I went from mama to mommy to mom to bruh. 875,000. Let's see. I'm going to check if that's really trending. So I'm going to type that in. I went from mama to mommy to bruh right here. I'm going to do this one. I went from mama to mommy to mom to bruh. So you can see it's already showing up on autocomplete. That means people are searching for this. And you can see lots of different ways people are searching for this. So it's very popular. Let's click on this one. 579 results. Not bad. Let's look at the BSRs. You know, some low BSRs. This one's getting really low BSRs, right? So it's good. We can check Merch Informer. So you can see here on Merch Informer, I just typed in the keyword phrase here and it's getting an A. So you know it's good. Another thing you want to check is USPTO. Make sure this is not trademarked. So you want to go here to check it. USPTO, check your trademarks. So when you get to this page here, just put in the phrase and hit enter. And you can see there's no records. It is not trademarked. So we're good. So we got a phrase, we got our fonts, we got our graphics, we got our phrase. Let's start making our t-shirt. So here we are back in Affinity Designer. I'm going to put it all together here. I'm using some of the techniques that I showed in my video before on how to design for non-designers. You can see I put this one on an arc, right? You can see that arc right here. I'm using the graphics that I used. Made these hearts, right? We showed how to do that. And these arrows and these burst lines, I showed how to do that in the video. They're just with your pen tool, right? Real easy to do. And I'm using just those two fonts, right? This font and that font right there. You can see that says Sensei and this says Intro Script, right? So you just have to lay it out. Make sure that it is taller rather than wider. So we want a tall rectangle. So you can see I kind of fit it into there. And I just went from mama to with the arrow, mommy to mom to, and I used this arrow here. I didn't show you how to do that, but it's basically this, click and drag. And of course, when you're on your stroke here, grab the end and put the arrowhead at the end, and then you can make the width. So you may have noticed that I've made the width kind of similar to this width right here. If I take one of these up here and I move them up here, you can see they're pretty close in width, and that you can just do by changing the width of your stroke, right? I don't want it super big. I may want it super big like this to match this one, but I can also make it thinner to match this one. So right around 2.5 is where this match this one, depending on where you are. So you can kind of just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but I'm just eyeballing it to kind of give that, right? So another thing I did was making things bigger and smaller, right? So this word is bigger, this one's smaller, just in size, right? So doing that gives you interest as well. So lots of things going on here. I like to do 2 or 3 different versions just to see how it looks. So I went to do this one too, and I put the 2 right here. Let me zoom in and I'll show you something. So here's one trick that I'm gonna teach you, how to move this up into here and kind of save some space. So you see I want to put this here, but that M's in the way. But because this is a handwritten font, we can do some things that will make it look even better. So let me show you. This is Sensei right here, right? But I can convert this to curves. So now they're objects. And the thing I want to do is ungroup the objects. So now each of these objects are their own thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the points right here. You can see these points. And I'm just going to move them up out of the way like that. So now I can put that 2 right here. And it still looks like a handwritten font. I may have to fix these a little bit. Let's see if I just delete that font, that one, and kind of move this around here. You can play with your fonts, right? Right there. Kind of curve this out. And it looks as if we come back out here, it still looks like a handwritten font, so no damage here. And it actually adds some nice interest because this M's different than that M, and I can kind of tuck this 2 right in there. And now I can move this mommy up here, right? And so I have less of that white space, and it kind of gives that nice layout. So I'm going to start doing that to this right here. And this is what I came up with. So I went from mama to, you see I moved that 2 up here and moved the M. And I moved this 2, you can see I kind of changed that M here, and that O, I moved it up too, right? And then I added some color, because that's another thing we talked about in that other video. We talked about arches, we talked about adding color to add interest, we talked about the burst lines, right? And some graphics. So all these things together makes this one composition for Mother's Day. Now you can see how easy that was step by step. Once I got all the components, I have to put them all together and kind of mash them together. So this is my final product. You can see I didn't do it right away. I went step by step. I went from this and thought, no, maybe I want to stack it. And then from stacking it, I pushed it together. Then I added some color on black. Remember to do your designs on black because black sells a lot better. I could have left this white on white. I can do a version of that too, but make sure you do a black version. I think those help you sell. And then just pick some colors that do well on black. Usually white does the best on black, and then pink and yellow are some other ones, especially for Mother's Day. Those do really well on black too. So there it is. It's just super easy. You can see I didn't draw anything. There's no like really hard graphics on here, and I took fonts that were free fonts off of the internet. And this is something you can do as well. So go back in there, find other phrases, use these fonts, use other fonts that you find on Font Fabric as well, and kind of just lay it out and use some of those design tips that I showed you in the other video. And you're on your way to creating lots of Mother's Day shirts as well as other shirts for print on demand. Hope this video is really helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this. I think it turned out great. I'm going to put it on Merch by Amazon and see how well I do. I know I only have 2 more weeks, so I'm probably going to want to do some Father's Day shirts instead, or some other of those shirts. If you're not sure what shirts to do, I also have videos for that. So I'm going to put that at the end of the video so you can see what t-shirt designs you should be working on this month. Thanks again for watching, and your reward for staying all the way to the end is another edition of Trend Credits, and maybe use that trend to do your own design and use these fonts with that. So that would be fun too. So here's your trend credit. Thanks for staying to the end for this trend. Here is your trend. I won't be quiet so you can be comfortable. Look at that. Look at these low BSRs, very low, so you know it's selling. And these are different ways you can do it. I don't see a lot of those script fonts or handwritten fonts on here, so you can use those 2 fonts and make your own version here. This one's kind of has it, but most of them are really thick fonts, so yours would stand out. And look, they're using lots of color, right? Using one of those principles. So let's look at Merch Informer. It's getting an A. I typed it in here, so you know it's good. If you don't have Merch Informer, again, I have a link in the description for Merch Informer. You can check competition as well as all these other things, graphics, and it's a great program. So let's go back here. Your trend, I won't be quiet so you can be comfortable. Do your own version of this, use different fonts, use different layouts, of course, and have fun with this one. So that is it for this video. Hopefully this video is really helpful for you. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button so you can see more of my videos on how to create t-shirts and sell them online. And if you haven't seen that video that I was talking about, I'll put it here, as well as what to design this month. And as always, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.